This is dope. This thing is sick. This thing is just neat. It's neat. Open in the web browser. Let me close this door. Boop. Boop. It's Tuesday. We're putting a catchy title in here. I don't know what we're doing. It's Tuesday, though. We're chilling. We're kicking it. We're chilling. We're chillaxing. We're chillaxing. The poor wing. The poor wing fell off the car. That's so unfortunate. So unfortunate. I don't even know. I need to get glue. Do I have any super glue? What up, Hector? What's going on, you guys? I'm digging around trying to find some super glue, which I don't know if I have any, which is a little unfortunate. I don't. What's going on, you guys? What's going on, Jay, Tyler? What is going on, Eric, Dorian, Bortforts, Will, Brandon? I'm like running out of breath. The door just opened on its own. Oh no, that was Small Dog. Small Dog opened the door. What's going on, everyone? Was just watching one of your older videos. Hey, well, what's going on, Austin? Those older ones are good ones. There's some good stuff in those older videos. The amount of comments I get when I wear that sweatshirt. Yo, it's a dope sweatshirt. It's an awesome sweatshirt. I hope they're good comments on the bright side. I'm hoping, at least, Tyler. Hey bro, how's it going? What's going on? Oscar, sorry, I'm like 6 minutes late. I'm not terribly late. We went up to the mountains today, went to go do some fun stuff. Nothing car related, but it was a good day. So I got back not too long ago, grabbed some dinner. Now we're here, we're kicking it. It's Tuesday. I have no idea what to put as the catchy title, so now we're catchy titling right here. Richard, hey, what's going on? Teddy, yo, what's up, Tanner? How you doing, bro? I'm doing pretty good, man. Pretty good. I hope you're doing all right as well. I hate my life. IAG sent parts for the WX and not STI, so they don't fit. I'm going to walk out on I-5. No, don't do that. Don't do that. IAG is pretty good with customer service. They should be able to, like, fix that, no problem. The STI is gray. It is gray. One of the STIs is gray. I mean, it's kind of blue. It's kind of blue-gray. It's a blue-gray color. Hey, yo, Small Dog. Small Dog, you want to say no? He's just chilling with his bunny. He got, like, a little bunny for Christmas. He's been, like, all about that thing since he's got it. I just seen they're doing stimulus checks again. I guess the Subi gets more-ish. I guess we're getting $600 from what I saw starting tonight up until like mid next week. So hey, car part money. I defend it till I die. Fight me. Okay. All right. Hey man, do you recommend a Killer Bee oil pan 2006 STI? 100%. While you're in there, do the oil pickup and windage tray too. This thing's kind of dope. One of you guys sent in a pretty cool goodie. If I can get all this to like figure out. Mike sent this in. Super awesome. We got like a die cast 1/18th version of the, like scale of the Blobeye. Like it's kind of cool. It even has the motor in there. It's kind of dope. Unfortunately, we did lose the wing in shipping, so it's wingless at the moment, but I gotta glue that back on. But this thing's sick. Mike, if you see this, thanks dude, I appreciate it. This thing's absolutely awesome. It's like an actual mini version of the Blobeye. This thing is absolutely cool. And it's got like a little Smedia dude in here. Little Lego guy. That's awesome. That's sick. I love it. Thanks, Mike. If you ever see this live stream, I'll shoot you an email back here tonight, but this thing's dope. Hey, with that, we just talked about that one. What's up, Tanner? Should have done a two-step polish. Would have been a little bit better. See, like I said, I'm not a detailer. I don't know detailing stuff, and I'm not going to sit there and make like a straight-up like tutorial session of how to like detail a car, but in the next go around when we go to detail the STI, we will definitely put a polish on it next time. Now I know. I didn't know before. Now I know. Small Dog's running around. I don't even know where he went now. Alberto, yo, what's going on, dude? Okay, so I didn't catch you in the last time, but I have a big question. I like big questions. As a No Bones, have a 2007 2.5i Impreza, and I want to build it for the Canyon. Any recommendations? So it sounds like you're staying naturally aspirated. You can't really make a ton more power being naturally aspirated, but you can make that thing handle pretty awesome. If you really wanted to, you can do coilover sway bars and links. If you want to like try to push a little bit more power to the car, you definitely can. Just a header back, so headers. Mid pipe, or I guess it's a front pipe, mid pipe catback, should be able to pull out a little bit more power with an intake. If you are able to get like a Tatrix tune on there, it might not be a bad idea to do so. I don't even know if you can like Tatrix into the OEM naturally aspirated ECUs, but you're not going to be making a ton of power, unfortunately, with a naturally aspirated motor, but suspension and handling wise, go crazy. You can do a ton of suspension and drivetrain stuff to get that thing feeling like a solid Canyon car. Scott, yo, what up, dude? I've worn it I've worn it to a few small meets in my town. It creates a lot of attention. I send them to your channel. That's what's up. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. I like it. I like it. They're dope hoodies. They're soft. They're comfy. I have 3 of these, and I literally live in them. It is wonderful. What state are you from, Smedia? As Matt Short said, Washington State. I am in Washington State. I'm about an hour south of Seattle. I don't really ever go up north too often, but when I do, it's like here and there-ish. Ordered the Radium Dual Catch Can Kit. Thanks for the recommendation. So I'm saying the Radium makes awesome stuff. I'm not a huge fan of the air oil separators based off the return line, but you guys know why. I've talked about that in the past. But the catch can setups, awesome stuff. Ever thing of doing a GCR STI? I would love to. They're quite expensive though. Quite expensive to build. Even just getting like one of the chassis is not the cheapest thing. Why is my phone blowing up? I have no idea what's going on there. But yeah, they're incredibly awesome to build. The chassis themselves up here in Washington State are not the cheapest either. I want to say you could get a bare 2.5 RS chassis for maybe like 3 to 5 grand, depending on where you're finding it, who you're buying it from, and the condition it's in. But the chassis alone are not cheap. I would love to be able to do like an RSTI builds later down the road when we have more room in the garage and funds are a little bit more available to us. But yeah, it's something I've always wanted to do. Which equal length header brand do you recommend? ETS, Tomei, NVIDIA, Perrin. Killer Bee or ETS are going to be my 100% go-to recommendation for headers. Tomei is good, don't get me wrong. They're actually pretty... If you're looking for a good affordable one, I would get Tomei over NVIDIA. Personal preference, I don't like Perrin. I've explained why I don't like Perrin multiple times in the past. I would say in order, Killer Bee, ETS, Tomei. Ryan, what's poppin', dude? Hope you're doing well, bro. Doing pretty good. Looking at the Grimspeed Catback exhaust, Cobb, or the AWE Touring. Something without drone. Thoughts on any of those? I know the Cobb doesn't have any drone. It's a pretty good catback. Grimspeed ones, I've heard a little bit of drone here and there depending on what the downpipe setup is on the car. AWE Touring, I haven't been in the car, like in any cars with an AWE Touring setup, so I can't really speak on that one too much. But between Grimspeed and Cobb, they're both very good options. The Cobb's going to have a little less drone than the Grimspeed one does. I think the Cobb one's a little bit more expensive, but I mean, you get what you pay for. It's a pretty good catback setup. Do you recommend a retune for a new engine for the same year being swapped in? It's not a bad idea if you're getting... It depends on how old your old tune is. Especially if it's a brand new motor, I would definitely consider like talking to your tuner, maybe getting a break-in tune, something that's a little less aggressive than a full-out, all-out chooch tune, if that's what you're running before. Most tuners will do a break-in tune for you, go back to the dyno, and they just recalibrate things, get everything back in session. Most tuners that I've talked to in the past don't charge full price for like adjustments to tunes like that. They'll typically work off of your old tune, adjust a few things, resend it to you, get it uploaded to the car, and you're good to go. You don't have to, but I mean, if I had a brand new motor that I was putting in the car, I would definitely consider getting a break-in tune for that motor just to make sure everything's healthy for it, if you plan on like pushing it at all. If you don't plan on pushing the motor at all, I mean, to be honest, I'd probably just run the old tune and then just go through the break-in period, stay out of boost, stay under like 3k RPMs. If you're running like bigger cams or new cams, obviously you're going to want to break those in, but at that point, if you're going to be doing that, then you would want to retune just because you're changing things up a little bit. Hector, I don't want to sound ricey. I'm 19, so don't at me, lol. But I want a burble tune in my WRX. Any issues that come with it? Yeah, you can have some issues that come with the burble tunes. So obviously, if you're catted, you're going to be destroying your catalytic converter. Essentially, what a burble tune is doing is dumping a whole bunch of excess fuel into the cylinders, just so that fuel ignites in the exhaust. If you have a catalytic converter, that fuel will start to destroy your cat relatively quickly. Well, there's also the small possibility that you can overwash your cylinder walls. The fuel has to go somewhere. It'll go back down through the crankcase into the oil pan, and it'll start to destroy the lubrication properties of your oil a little bit quicker. Aside from that, you'll have like decreased fuel economy also. But if you want one, you're only getting it for the sound. Just keep that in mind. Throttle response is gonna feel like a little garbage-ish for a while. Personal preference, I'm not a huge fan of them. I had one on the BRZ for a little while. I used it maybe twice. Just not my cup of tea, to be honest. Sup, bro? A new member to your channel. Well, what is going on, Lorenzo? Just got a 2020 STI, and your videos have been very helpful. Thanks for all the hard work you do and posting it. One love. Hey, glad the videos are helping my man, and congrats on the new car. Option or opinions on JDM EJ20X swap. I'm guessing the X just you're using that as a placeholder for whatever JDM motor you're doing. JDM motors are good. I've seen a lot of them going up in value. To kind of like say that a JDM motor is a good option for you, I can't really say because I don't know what you're planning on doing with the car. If you plan on like heavily modifying the car, or you plan on just keeping it stock. If you plan on keeping it stock, JDM motors are pretty good. I know some of them you can mix and match ECUs with, from USDM models over to JDM models, depending on what the motor is and what ECU you're going to be using. But if you plan on using a cob access port, just the easy go-to tuning device for these cars, you're going to run into some issues when running a JDM ECU just because cob doesn't support JDM ECUs. If you have a JDM motor that you're able to get relatively easily, by all means, they're good swap options depending on which ones you get. But as for opinions on them, I mean, those are kind of my opinions. I have a video dedicated to like if you blew your motor, these are kind of your like options. I give my opinions on that one, go like actually in depth with it. I would check out that one if you have any questions though. What engine mounts do I recommend? That all depends on what you want out of the car. The Group N STI engine mounts are pretty good engine mounts for a daily driver that are a little bit stiffer than stock, that don't like totally destroy your body with NVH from the car. It can be annoying using it as a daily driver, just getting a ton of NVH going on in the car. If you're looking for something stiffer, IAG makes some pretty good mounts. Perrin makes some okay mounts. Also, I've used Perrin in the past. My go-to would probably be IAG, though. The one time I did use IAG in one of my older cars, felt awesome. Also, appreciate the dono. Oh, God, I don't want to, like, butcher it. CD211, appreciate the dono, dude. Appreciate it, my friend. Always helps. Always goes back into the channel. You don't need a lot of power to go around corners. Just do suspension bracing and mods for the Canyon. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying a whole bunch of like suspension, chassis bracing stuff. You're pretty much solid, good to go. It'll definitely feel a lot better. Also been on a 911 Turbo YouTube binge. Porsches, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Our STI is essentially going to be a Porsche 911 Turbo in an STI body. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be wonderful. What is happening? I hope you have a great night. Can't be long at work. Well, Logan, I hope your shift goes by relatively quick, my friend, so that way you're not just kicking it at work all night. Hello, Tanner. Well, hello, Lalo. I think I got that one. What is your opinion on the R400 catback regarding drone? I have mine installed on 2019 STI with catless downpipe, resonated midpipe, I'm guessing, but now it's a little uncomfortable on the ears while driving, I'm guessing. So R400, it can be a relatively aggressive catback. If you want something that's a little bit quieter, obviously get something with a little bit more muffled or a little bit bigger mufflers than that one. I believe those ones are stock, well, not stock, but 2-inch mufflers per tip, which it sounds good, but up in the higher RPM band, I totally get what you feel with a little bit of the drone. Sounds like you already have a resonator. If you want to like tone it down a little bit more, definitely consider swapping over to a catted downpipe. That should help muffle it a little bit more and kind of clean up the drone a little bit more. Plus, if you are still internal wastegate, a catted downpipe is just going to be a better option for that setup anyways. But throwing in a catalytic converter in there will help clean it up a little bit. If you want something a little bit quieter and a little bit less drony, I would consider swapping over to a different catback, maybe Cobb, Grimspeed, kind of like we talked about earlier. Both of them are very good options with minimal drone. I have a 15 WRX. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm digging it. I like WRXs. Nice work. No, nice. My work IT guy is out of Tacoma. Hey, I was just in Tacoma earlier. Interesting town. Interesting city. Don't do bubbles tune. It's bad for the turbo. Hey, what's up? What's going on, Omni? I have a 17 STI pushing 460 wheel horsepower. My stock clutch is pretty much gone. I mean, I would imagine at that. What clutch kit do you recommend for a daily driver? I will show you the one that I'm going to be using in the 05 STI. From everything that I've looked up, I haven't used this clutch before, but from everything that I found, it looks like a pretty good clutch setup. If I can pull this up right here, single disc clutch. This is the one that I ordered for the 05 STI. This ACT heavy duty street disc clutch kit. I mean, I think it's rated up to like 515 foot-pounds of torque. I don't plan on making anywhere near that, but everything that I've read and all the reviews I've seen on this clutch say it's a pretty streetable, daily driver-friendly clutch. For 625 plus, I think the flywheel's like another 300. You're looking at $900 for a clutch and flywheel setup. After I actually get mine in and get it on the car, we can actually do a driving video on it to see how it actually feels. But full face sprung clutch is what I would at minimum recommend, because for a daily driver, you're going to want it to be a full face clutch with the sprung little springs in there, like you can see on the puck of the clutch right there. It helps absorb a lot of the shock and the torque coming off the transmission, so that way you're not feeling it all. But definitely consider something full face and sprung, or else it's just not. It's going to suck to daily drive. It's not fun. No bones. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much. That's exactly answered my question. Thank you for being such an awesome creator. Keep it up, man. Hey, any time, and I am glad I can help, my friend. What's up, bruh? Just got my 2020 WRX back from my tuner. Congrats. Stage 2 plus, 308 wheel horsepower, 338 foot-pounds of torque at 6,400 foot elevation. Now, you don't got too much oxygen up there. The power's great, and the noises are intoxicating. Hey, glad you're digging the car. What's the best DCCD setting for donuts? I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to be liable for you going out there and any damage happening to your diffs. Go play with it a little bit. I have a video on the DCCD settings. You can just go play with it a little bit. Totally excited that I just found some sweet burnt titanium hardware for my tile cube blow-off valve. Hey, that's some good stuff right there. What else we got going on in here? How much horsepower can a blah-by 5-speed hold? 5-speed WRX transmissions, obviously they're not the strongest. Stock, without doing much to them, I'd say your safe zone is probably around 320 wheel horsepower. Torque, wherever that falls in line with that. Torque's going to be one of the major killers of the transmission, depending on how much torque you actually make. If you are looking to strengthen your 5-speed and you don't want to go on by a 6-speed, if anything does happen to that 5-speed, highly consider doing like a PPG gear set if you want to keep that 5-speed with like a more blast plate setup. It'll help strengthen the transmission. You'll have a lot stronger gear sets in there also, so it'll be able to take a lot more abuse. But 320-ish wheel horsepower is where I typically see them start to be like the most comfortable. Anything past that, it can get a little bit dicey. My buddy had one explode on him, and he just ended up going over to the STI 6-speed. It was a lot more comfortable for him. It worked out a lot better too. Anyone with Subi got IGs? Trying to see some builds. No. Oh. I'm sure everyone in here has like an Instagram. Tomei equal length header comes with an up pipe too. That it does. Some of the other ones out there also come with up pipes. I'm pretty sure you can buy the Tomei one alone without the up pipe if you had a different up pipe setup in there. But yes, you can get the Tomei one. The Killer B one comes with an up pipe. I'm not entirely sure if the ETS one does, but all of them are very good options for anyone looking for like a solid equal length header setup. So far after the holiday, I ended up having access port, Cobb J pipe, SF intake, electronic boost controller, TGV housing kit, R400, a whole bunch of goodies. Any other recommendations? Shooting for 320 wheel horsepower, possibly flex fuel and header next year. So, access port, a J pipe, obviously a cap back, which is your R400. You have that one. TGV delete, electronic boost controller, R400. Charge pipe and an intercooler wouldn't be a bad idea if you wanted to add those ones onto the list. EGR delete wouldn't be a bad one either. But it sounds like you're well on your way for what you got going on power. If you really wanted to, you could do like a turbo inlet just to help smooth airflow out and increase diameter size just a hair. But for the most part, it sounds like you've got a lot of good stuff going on there. One other thing I would at minimum recommend is getting a low pressure fuel pump. You don't need to swap with a high pressure fuel pump in that car, but at minimum, get a low pressure fuel pump. What would be your ideal fuel pumps for 500 wheel horsepower STI? I'm looking at the Wall Bureau 450. You could run a single hardwired fuel pump. The 450s, what are they rated to? I don't remember off the top of my head. Wall Bureau 450 doesn't even come up for some reason. For 500 wheel horsepower, it's not a bad idea to run a dual fuel pump setup if you really want to pull stress and fuel pump duty cycle, lower that one down a little bit. You could probably stretch it out. Are you talking on pump gas or are you talking on E85? Because that's going to make a difference If you're looking at pump gas, it's doable with a 450. You're going to be your fuel pump duty cycle is obviously going to be pretty high all the time whenever you're getting on the car. If you want to try to reduce that, bring it down a little bit, Radium has that awesome dual setup. It is pretty expensive though, but if you're planning on doing it on pump, a single wall bureau 450 might be able to get you there. If you're looking at doing like anything on E85, I would definitely consider snagging 2 fuel pumps and running a dual pump setup in the tank. I lucked out one day at the junkyard. They had a Forster NVIDIA G200 axleback section for 80 bucks on the counter. That's actually a pretty good deal. That is a pretty good deal right there. I will say that. The door, that door really messed up your face, bro. Dude, it was like, I was like right on the crease of the door and it like stretched me out. Stretched out my face. David, go Radium dual pump setup. Hey, I'm glad I'm not the only one throwing that suggestion out there. What kind of turbo are you getting for the Blob Eye again? I forgot. The Blob Eye is getting an FP Black stock location turbo. I think it's rated up to like 550 wheel horsepower. Should be a solid turbo with plenty of headroom for anything that we want to do later on. Cracking a brew. Cheers to the live stream. That's what I'm saying. I got coffee, but it works. I was just wondering if the higher compression engine would be an issue. If not, I'm on E85. I just seen some things about higher compression engine. Jose, did you ask a question up here relating to engines? What? Oh, you're talking about the JDM sections. Gotcha. I mean, I don't know what the compression ratios are on the JDM engines off the top of my head. I'd have to look those ones up. But I mean, honestly, it boils down to what you plan on doing with the car. If you plan on running a ton of boost in the car, then obviously just get a built short block, build the heads, strap it together, just use a USDM block. JDM motors are good for like minute power additions, but if you're going to be going like all out build series, I never really suggest JDM motors just because you can do pretty much the exact same thing with a USDM short block, build it, build the heads, strap it together, throw it back in the car. JDM swaps are pretty good for people who are on a budget, who are just looking to maybe increase power a little bit, and they can get them for a good deal. The 207 is a really good like drop-in JDM engine. It can handle a decent beating, but like I said, if you're looking to make power, I would definitely consider just building a stock long block and dropping it in. 370, yo! I will get ETS equal length header. I have an ETS catback, so I'm saying ETS makes good stuff. Timothy Clark, hey dude, what's going on? Hey brother, did the dyno run pulled 472 wheel or 470 wheel horsepower on E80 or E40? Should be more power on E70. I made it next to 600 Club. Ooh, let me know. That's some spicy power right there. Ooh, sorry, I'm like super burpy. We just got back from Buffalo Wild Wings. Had like their super spicy wings, and I've had like the hiccups for like the past hour. It's been awful. Austin, appreciate your video on driving experience mods. That's what I'm saying. Those are the best mods to do. Learned a lot. Got white line diff inserts and clutch master brace. I hope I don't mistake NVH for knocking. The NVH on those really isn't that noticeable or too bad. Those driver-centric mods are always my favorite mods just because they give you, the driver, obviously more feedback with what the car is doing. I like to know what the car is doing. The car likes to know what I'm doing. It's a weird connected relationship where we're all just chilling, driving, connected with one another, and just going down the road. Can you explain fuel injectors for FA20? I'm told mine might not be doing well, but can't find aftermarket in stock size. So someone else brought this up earlier. I don't know if it was you, CD, but FA20s don't have standard port injection fuel injectors. They have direct injection injectors, which can be scaled. If you have a direct injection or a direct injector going out, those are pretty pricey to replace. No one really makes any aftermarket direct injection replacements, so you're going to have to be going with OEM. I don't know why someone might be saying one of yours is going out. Those direct injectors have a pretty long lifespan also, so I wouldn't be too concerned. If you have a fueling issue, I would try to like backtrack the fuel system a little bit. I wouldn't necessarily think that it's a fuel injector with it being direct injected. Also, Nathan, appreciate the dono, dude. Appreciate the dono, man. You're absolutely killing it. Hey, Tanner, love the videos. I had my 05 wagon a year, and I'm sick of it being auto. I want to do a 5-speed or 6-speed swap. Both expensive. Both are the same amount of work and thoughts. I do the STI Brembos, too. If you're going in there and you're doing all the work to do a swap, by all means, just go balls to the wall, do a whole 6-speed swap. You'll thank yourself later on by doing the 6-speed swap over the 5-speed swap. Obviously, yes, it is going to be a little bit more expensive, but that 6-speed, it's actually night and day difference between the 5-speed and the 6-speed between those engines. It responds so much better. Definitely consider getting the 6-speed if you can afford it. Well worth it, in my opinion, my friend. Q300 with a catted downpipe is, that's what I'm saying. Sounds good. It's a good setup. I rewatched your video driving. There we go. I rewatched your video driving the STI in the mountains after the E85 tune. That car felt incredible in the mountains. You got to make one with the 05 once you get that thing up and running. I'm sure you miss driving these fun cars. I do. I haven't driven an STI, like actually driven an STI, in like 5 months. 5 months ish. I bought the 05 STI. I bought this STI right here, but with the wing on it, because the wing never stays on it. The wing always just falls right off. I gotta glue the wing on there. But this thing's awesome, by the way. Thanks again. But yeah, I haven't driven an STI like in the mountains or like hard driving in months. I bought the 05 and I drove it 3 times, and it's been on jack stands ever since. I'm waiting for UPS to drop off parts. They're out for delivery. It says out for delivery tonight, which is like the new bucket, the cam seal tool to properly install the cam seals. I want to drive it. Hey Tanner, I went on a 700-mile road trip yesterday to the Tail of the Dragon in my 17 STI. Got code P0171 code on the way home. Haven't had a chance to check the MAF or O2 sensor. Not too worried though. That's a pretty easy code to go in there and resolve. I would not be too worried about that one. If anything, what is P0171? I'm pretty sure that is, oh my god, if I can, fuck it, we'll just type it in. P0171. I'm pretty sure that's just like oxygen, 2 lean. Yep, bank 1. Upstream O2 sensor, 2 lean. Could just be a bad O2 sensor. Why did it block this? Error, try again. Error, try again. I don't know why it's not letting me unblock this comment. Kongmeng, for some reason, block your comment. He said, looking to get a Type RA short block, but found this. It's a little cheaper. How can I figure if it's a Type RA short block? And then it's a link to flat iron tuning, because it's not Flatorius tuning. I said that last time, and some people LOL'd. I did not mean to. So we have Subaru OEM 2018 Type RA short block. What is the issue, my friend? What is the issue? Flatorius. Flat irons tuning. I almost did it again. What is the issue? I mean, it looks like a standard RA short block. It says it's an RA short block. How much are they selling it for? 1,800. So pretty much all of the blocks that they replaced are now RA short blocks. You can definitely, I can't see it on this one, but there should be a code on there. After you get the block that says 706 stamped on the top of it, right below that coolant port on the left side. For some reason, my mouse doesn't show up whenever I go to do this, which is a little bit of a, okay, does it show up on the screen? I don't even think it shows up on the screen, which is a little bit annoying, but it should have 706 stamped on the block. If it has 706 or 705 stamped on the block, it is a Type RA short block. But I mean, if they're selling it, how much are they selling this for? $1,893. Not a bad price for Type RA short block. But if I can, my mouse has been like breaking on me the past couple days. Don't buy Apple mice, they break. How can I figure if it's a Type RA short block? It's definitely a Type RA short block. They're selling it as a Type RA short block. All the dogs are freaking out. Oh my gosh, stop. Stop with the borking. I think UPS is here dropping off our parts. I'm pretty sure it's UPS. Do you think these are good mods for Daily Driver, WRX, ETS, Catback, and Catted, J-Pipe, AOS, TGV, and EGR delete, a radiator, equal length headers, and access port? I mean, it sounds like a solid setup for a Daily Driver. I wouldn't worry too much. I mean, so I'm guessing it's an FA20 WRX, but just based off of like EGR, since you threw that one in there. But yeah, sounds like a solid setup for an FA20. What are the requirements for external wastegate? External wastegate, you're obviously going to need an up pipe. You're going to need external wastegate. A boost controller, that's honestly pretty much it. You can definitely use stock turbo if you really wanted to. There's not really a need to do it on stock turbo unless you're like really pushing the limits of that turbo. But requirements for an external wastegate, just the external wastegate itself, the boost controller and the up pipe, and then the turbo internal wastegate block off plate if you are going to be using the other one. Please come in. Is that UPS?
It was.
We got 3 boxes?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. What did we get? What's in the big box? What is that box? What is this one? What is happening? Let's do these two first. We're gonna do an impromptu unboxing. Impromptu unboxing. Do I have any scissors in here? How do I not have scissors? Why am I so unprepared? What is this box? I need to make sure these are our actual parts and not something weird that I may have ordered. What is in this box? What is this? Hey, speaking of flat iron tuning. Flat iron tuning. What is this first one? Dope! I can put the motor together tomorrow! We got our new bucket. We got the appropriate size bucket, so hopefully that actually fits. What is in box number 2? It's like really raining outside because these boxes are like soaking wet. What else do we get in here? Ugh. Is this the tool? I think this is the tool. How do I... Did they like sticker this? They stickered this shut. Why did they do this? So I ordered this tool thinking that it's probably going to make my life a little bit easier. I need to get like a pocket knife or something to be able to open packages with. So on the cam seals, or the cam carrier, or the cam seals on the actual snout of the cams. Jesus. Oh, that's dope. I got this, which is like the tool to properly install the cam seal. So it like sits on there. It's got like a nice recessed finish back there, so that way the cam seals seats in there perfectly, and it'll bottom out right where the cams have to sit. So that's awesome. That'll make installing the cam stuff a lot easier. How do I put this back together? Oh my gosh, who made this? I think it was ASF. ASF, yeah. This shop is actually crazy awesome. If you guys haven't seen anything, check out ASF Machine. They make a lot of the parts for the EG33 STI also. Super awesome shop. I've talked to, I think they own Gripwell Garage, which is pretty sick little place. What is this? Chris Bird from Issaquah. Oh, I think this is a Christmas present. I think this one's a Christmas present. I'm glad. I actually don't know what's in this box. So I'm a little concerned. This could be something weird. Oh, did I break my pen? No, I didn't. Okay. What is actually in here? I don't know if I'm going to... Ah! What is this? Is this just a hoodie? Did I get a hoodie? I got a Carhartt hoodie. That's sick. I'll wear that in the garage. Dope. Dope. Alright, so we got some car parts and a hoodie. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. We have another shipment getting delivered tomorrow, which is the actual cam seals. And once I get the cam seals in, I can actually get the timing put back on that motor too after we verify this bucket fits with our cams. Because that is my biggest concern. This one should be a 478, I believe. 478? Is it a 478? I don't remember. I actually don't remember. It is 478. Perfect. Perfect. So we should be able to get timing put back on the car once US or UPS drops off the actual cam seals tomorrow. But anyways, where am I going? All right, here we go. When is lowering springs better than coilovers? When you are on a budget is when, and if you're just looking to do like basic suspension stuff like lowering springs, if you're not going to be looking to use like the car for spirited driving or anything like that, lowering springs are a good option just to lower the car a little bit more for daily driving. Outside of that, I mean, lowering springs, they're pretty much there just to obviously lower the center of gravity a little bit more, give a little bit better handling and responsiveness, but I would always suggest coilovers if they fit your budget. I have that clutch. It goes hard. 100% recommend. That's what I'm talking about. That's good to hear then. Is fender rolling bad or harmful in any ways? Not at all. As long as you do it properly. I have a video showing like how to properly go through there and actually roll your fenders in a way that isn't going to completely destroy your fenders either. So you're not going to be getting like any of the baconing from your fenders. How to like not damage paint. So there's obviously a proper way to roll your fenders. Just make sure you're going your time, like taking your time when you're going in there. Don't rush it. It can take sometimes like up to like 45 minutes to do one fender, but totally comes out worth it when you do it right. Error code P0244. Is this just a guessing game now? Is that what we're doing? Jesus, my mouse is like breaking my balls right now. Don't ever buy these. These things suck. friggin' Apple out here trying to like charge me an arm and a leg. Was it P0244? Is that right? Trouble wastegate actuoid selenonator. Could just be that your control arm dealio for the internal wastegate is stuck in one position. Could be something to deal with the actual actuator itself. Could be plenty of things. Could be a lot of things. What power boost would standard size 625 plus head studs for STI hold? Honestly, when it comes to power rating for head studs, I'm not the person to ask for that. I would definitely ask an engine builder that question, just because they're going to have their own preferences on how the motor is built and what head studs to use. From my understanding, when I was talking to Outfront Motors, it's not always about how much power you're going to be pushing, but also like what, like if you're obviously a turbocharged application like we are, how many pounds of boost you're running as well, and your compression ratio of the engine. So there's a little bit more that goes into that. I would definitely ask your engine builder or a engine builder what they think on that one, just because I don't want to give you some like out there crazy answer to be like completely off from what like an engine builder would tell you. So I would ask someone a little more well versed with like motor building than myself. Good picks for wheel setups to daily 2020 WX. Honestly, like the go-to wheel for the V8 chassis is like an 18 by 9.5 plus 35-ish, with like a 245 40, 245 45 tire, depending on like how much sidewall you want. But I mean, that's pretty much like the go-to I see everyone run. What is it? They have like Anki RPF1s in that size, NTO3s, Graham Light 57DR. There's a whole bunch of sizes that like meet those requirements just to get like a solid like fitment on stock body. Thoughts on, God, you guys just want me to butcher this name every single time I say it. Thoughts on the Cometic head gasket? Dude, I'm so far back in like comments. Jeez. Thoughts on those head gaskets? Awesome head gaskets. I'm using them on the EG33. They're also on the EJ257 that we have out in the garage. When I was talking to Outfront with the EG33 build, they suggested using the Cometic head gaskets. I kill that name every single time I say it. Just because they are a little bit thicker. They like to hold boost a little bit better. They like to hold power a little bit better. And they're a pretty cost-effective head gasket as well. Austin, what's going on, dude? Crazy story. Do you remember me talking about trading in my 2015 STI to help me get my 2018 GTR? I do. My mom was so upset that I sold my STI. She bought it back and gave it to me for Christmas. Are you... What? What? Dude, congrats. That's awesome. I mean, it's awesome that you have an STI and a GTR now, dude. Congrats. That's actually a really good combo to have. I'm guessing... I don't know what you plan on doing with both cars, but... Hey, jealous, dude. That's awesome. Congrats, dude. Hey, Tanner, you'll be 1,946 messages in by the time you see this. Hey, we're here, Anrent. But I have the ACT heavy duty with an OEM flywheel and love it. Took a couple thousand miles to break in, but 1 year on it and love it. Hey, good to hear, because I was like a little like stepped back when I was like ordering that one, because I've never ordered that ACT clutch before. But hoping that it's like as good as everyone is saying it is. Go to Tycon if you want to fab titanium, working on some stuff myself, and maybe send you a piece or so when I finish making these. Ooh, totally down, dude. If you want to fab titanium workout, yeah, that'd be dope. The diff will get down first, then your transmission. I don't know what that one's in relation to. AstroTurf, appreciate the dono, my friend. What kind of video games do you like playing, if at all? KEK, I don't know what KEK is. FPS RPG racing. Normally I play like FPS games. Call of Duty Cold War. I play Forza every now and then when I want to like chill, kick it, not really like be like all up in games. Minecraft is like a zoning game that I'll play for a while. Melanie and I play Minecraft together every now and then also. But if I'm like in the zone, I'm getting on some Cold War. Fucking people up. I'm just joking. I'm awful at Cold War. Air intakes, intercoolers, and external wastegates, worth it for a daily driver on a 17WX. Honestly, for a 17WX, not really needed, unless you're really starting to like chooch out and make a lot more power. That external wastegate setup for those cars is pretty expensive also. The only one that I really know of is Killer Bee's setup, which is pretty pricey also. They get expensive. They get expensive quick. It's not really needed unless you're really trying to make some power. Butterfly Fact, what's going on, dude? Hey, dude, how's your night going? It's chill. Pretty chill. We got some good car parts in. We can reassemble the motor tomorrow. We got a new car heart to be able to roll around the garage in when it's cold outside, because it's always cold outside, so it's pretty good. How much power can an 04 STI 6-speed hold? That is a good question, and it's always a gamble. I don't know the overall health of your transmission in an 04. Obviously, it's 16 years old at this point. If you're not the original owner, which I don't assume that you are, but you could be, then you really don't know the whole status of that transmission. If you're actually trying to make some power out of it, the STI 6 speeds hold a decent amount of power. Those things are some stout transmissions. I've seen people making north of 800 wheel horsepower on just stock STI 6 speeds. You can make a decent amount of power with those transmissions. Much love for your channel. Hey, appreciate it, Misha UA91. Appreciate it, my friend. What does the R stand for in tire size, and what does it mean? This 255, 35, 7 or 35Z R19. R is just the radius, so radius is obviously 19-inch. So if you have a 19-inch wheel, R19 is going to be radius 19-inch, R18 radius 18-inch. So it's all going to be based off the wheel size. So whatever the R is, it's going to be the overall diameter of the wheel itself. Would an air oil separator that returns the oil back into the oil pan be worth it? Like it's going directly back into the oil pan, so it's draining the oil from the air oil separator. That's a long line to run. How would you do that? Would you have like a return bung fitted on the oil pan for all the oil to drain back in there? I've never seen a setup like that. I really don't think it would be worth it. I think just draining the oil back into the motor would be a lot easier and simple. But if you really wanted to, you could. I can't say I've ever seen that done before. Dude, these like Buffalo Wild Wings are like destroying me right now, dude. Woo! Keep getting the hiccups. I have an 18WRX. I have to recommend Torque's Performance for Subaru eTunes. Eric is a goat and did 5 revisions in the span of 24 hours. Torque's Performance is awesome. I've heard really good things about Eric. He hasn't tuned any of my cars before. He's tuned a couple of my buddies, and they all came out absolutely stellar. If anyone is looking for eTunes, I know Eric over there is a really good eTuner. What's everything I should get to run E85 in an STI? I have a whole video dedicated to that, my friend, Nick. I got a whole video on that one, man. We got a lot of comments to get through, so I'm going to say go check out the video. It'll give you an entire breakdown and an entire list for absolutely every single part that you'll need to run E85 on an STI. Also, welcome to the channel membership, AstroTurf. Appreciate the support, my friend. Channel membership's awesome. So if anyone does want to become a channel member, quick rundown, you guys obviously get early access to merchandise, early access to information that I put out on the channel member tab prior to going out to everyone else, discount on merch, whole bunch of good stuff. So definitely appreciate the membership. Noticed I was only stage 1, figured I'd upgrade. Hey, that's what I'm saying, upgrade! I noticed a lot of Skookum Chuchun. I butcher things. In your vertical thought, your videos, you watch a lot of AVE. I don't even know what AVE. What is AVE? I don't know what AVE is, unfortunately. I don't know what that is. Possible collab with my WRX channel and Batter Built in the future. I've talked to JR over at my WRX channel a couple times. I actually met him a couple weeks ago up at the model garage. Super chill dude. I cannot say I've ever talked to Batter Built. I've commented on some of his videos in the past to try to talk to him. Never really gotten anything back, so I have absolutely no idea. No idea on that one. What's up, homie? Love your videos. Hey, appreciate it. What are your thoughts on the various wide body kit for the 2015 plus Subies? Personally, I don't really like the various kits too much. I think they're a little bit much for my taste, but they do look good. I will say that. I cannot justify the price of the various kits. Various. They're incredibly expensive. What are they, like $7,000 to $8,000 for those kits? They look incredible. I cannot justify buying one though. I'm a lot more simpler. I like just basic fender flares. I think it's simple, it's clean, it's to the point, it gets the job done. But like full on wide body kits like that, I've never been a huge fan of them, but I will admit it looks good. I just can't financially justify ever buying one. Also, Fox, welcome to stage 2, my friend. You stage 2 membership, my man. Always appreciate the support, Fox. I just noticed that members only stream came with level 2, so I did it. There you go. Now that we're starting to get a little bit big, I actually might start doing more frequent members only streams just to get some more one-on-one time with you guys. What mods are essential to make a 17 WRX daily reliable? It rains a lot in the summer. Hottest it gets is 97. What mods are essential to make a 17WX driver reliable? It rains a okay, the whole rain part of that comment totally threw me off. Honestly, the WX FA20 engines are pretty stout engines. If you're just looking to make it a little bit more reliable, air oil separator, EGR, TGV delete. If you really want to, a larger radiator just to increase the cooling efficiency of the motor, and you're pretty much set with those ones. The FA20s are pretty good when you start, like when you're not like trying to like all out power them. They're pretty solid motors. Also, Patrick, appreciate the dono, my friend. Thanks for recording the process. I just got a bug eye myself. It helps. Hey, congrats on the bug eye, my friend. Hopefully yours is in much better condition than mine is, or mine was, because mine is getting better. But congrats on the car, man. Also, like I said, appreciate the dono. Hey, man, I messaged you on Instagram. Didn't know if you got a chance to look at it. I appreciate it. Honestly, you guys, I try to get through Instagram messages, but they pile up so fast that it's incredibly difficult. Like but imagine that, like I probably get anywhere from like 40 to 45 messages a day on Instagram. If I respond to your message, then there's another 45 messages that come on top of that, and it filters and it's never ending. I try to get to like some messages here and there, but it's so incredibly difficult to like organize and try to sort through them all that there's just no possible way. So if you guys do direct message me on Instagram, I may or may not see it. I may or may not get to it. If I don't get to it, it's nothing personal. There's so many more that just get stacked on top of them. What do you feel was your first definitive moment that turned into a car enthusiast, driving enthusiast? When I changed the starter on my 1988 Subaru XT, at that moment I was like, I want to do more stuff. I was like, I just changed a starter. I'm super pumped, super proud of my little 16-year-old me running around. I was like, car starts again. And then at that point, what did we end up doing? The next day, we ended up pulling the hood off the car. We sanded the hood totally down. We spray painted it black. We threw a whole bunch of stickers in the car. We made cardboard templates. It evolved from there and then started going. When I got my 350Z, we started doing a little bit more serious modifications. My '08 STI, much more serious modifications, and so on and so forth until here we are now. Engine swapping as 2017 STI and building an '05 one. It's a dangerous rabbit hole. Also, appreciate the dono. AVE is a Canadian tool reviewer and mechanic that has some colorful, colloquially is. Oh, Jesus, dude, I'm so bad at like pronouncing some of these things. Such as chooch. Gotcha. Also, don't dumb here, no dumbing here. I will have to check it out. I cannot say I've ever heard of it, but I'm definitely gonna have to check it out now. I'm gonna have to check out some AVE stuff. Trade my built 2010 WRX 420 wheel horsepower for an 05 STI 160k miles. Personally, I like the blob eyes a little bit more than the narrow bodies. If I was in your position, I would probably revert the 2010 WRX back to stock. Would like correctly revert it back to stock, obviously. Part out, sell the aftermarket parts, and then sell the WRX and get the 05 STI. That's what I would do. But you do you. You do you. You do what you feels right. STI 2019. How many horsepower I can get with a top mount intercooler? What brand you recommend? Honestly, with top mount intercooler, depends on what you're getting, what brand you're getting also, because they're all going to be different sizes, different depths, widths, heights. It's going to really correlate down to the volumetric efficiency of the intercooler. Just an intercooler, we'll say a generic one, like say you're swapping like a Grimspeed on there, you might see a small increase of maybe 5 to 7 wheel horsepower if the rest of the car is completely stock. But I wouldn't expect big gains from just swapping out a top mount intercooler. I bought a 20 WRX in mid-September. Now it has 5,300 miles on it. Between switching gears while letting go of the clutch starts to vibrate when catching. Should I be worried? So it's a 20 WRX. I'm guessing your throwout bearing is starting to go bad. Some of the FA20 cars, their engines, the throwout bearing does like to go out prematurely. That should be covered under your warranty, assuming that you're not just pounding on the car all day, every day. But I would first guess that it would be throwout bearing related if there is an issue going on in the car. When is a good time to lock the diff on a DCCD? If you're going through like super deep snow and you're just trying to like trek through something, maybe some mud or something like that, definitely helps to lock the diff. But I mean, outside of that, you really don't need to. If you're just looking to have some like moderate fun spirited driving, you can play with the diff a little bit. If you're in a newer one that has like the auto plus, auto minus settings, you can definitely get yourself familiar with those before you start going like all out manual mode. But if you're just going to lock the diffs, like the appropriate times when you would actually use it is if you're in like mud, snow, like sleet, something that's a little bit more difficult to gain traction in. Locking the diff will help a little bit more. I'm finally getting an E-tune soon, but can't find a Cobb J-pipe anywhere. I know the struggles. Should I just grab a big SF and maybe do TGVs and save the J-pipe for when I go flex on the dyno down the line? I would say snag a J-pipe sooner than later if you're going to a dyno. There's more than just Cobb out there too. You can definitely check out like ETS, Nameless Performance, Grimspeed. A lot of other manufacturers make really good J-pipes. You don't have to just stick with Cobb if you are going and getting an actual dyno tune. They're going to be able to calibrate the car accordingly for whatever setup that you're going to be using. So I would look a little bit outside of just Cobb. Consider, like I said, Nameless, ETS, Grimspeed, some of these other companies out there who are making exhaust for these cars also. Hope all is well, my friend. AJ, what's going on, dude? I have a lot of videos to catch up on. We got a lot of videos. Every other day uploads. A lot of videos. Would you forgive me if I get a Miata instead of BRZ? If I fit a Miata. Why would I? I wouldn't be mad at all. I want a Miata. I've wanted a Miata for a very long time. I've just never bought one. And to be honest, I'd be a little bit jealous if you got a Miata. No hard feelings if you get a Miata. Why would I be upset if you got a Miata? Nothing wrong with Miatas. I like Miatas. Thanks, bro. Exactly what I needed to hear. Hey, I'm glad I could help, my friend. Is getting a muffler relatively the same as doing a muffler delete? Is gutting a muffler? Have an old SPT catback laying around and would like to make it into a loud exhaust 07WRX. I mean, essentially, yes. You're going to have a little bit of drone or reverberation coming from the exhaust, though, because you're taking where the muffler was, you're hollowing it out, so you're going to have a little bit of the exhaust that's going in there. Obviously, it's going to expand. It's going to go around the muffler a little bit, reverberate, make a little bit of drone, but it shouldn't be anything too terrible. Just expect a little bit of drone with that setup. But yeah, you can totally do it. It's pretty much the exact same. Ever heard of Beat Rush products? Lately, Beat Rush product? I've heard of Beat Rush. I know Beat Rush. Their products are very expensive. That's why I don't buy Beat Rush. But yes, I do know Beat Rush. I have 1050X. Wonder how much wheel horsepower it can hold below 450. Honestly, my old 1050 injectors on E85 maxed out around... It was at 401 wheel horsepower. That's when they were like capped. The only reason we're able to hit that number is because we bumped up fuel pressure a little bit to emulate having like ID 1200s in there. But expect to get around 400-ish on E85 before your injector duty cycle starts to get near like the higher end of like above 85%. But I mean, you can make some decent power with 1050s. P0244. That's what I have pulled up. P0244. Turbocharger, wastegate, solenoid A, range performance. That's what I have pulled up right there. Anytime there's an issue with the total boost range or engine related performance, that cannot be... Okay, well, let's see. There we go. The circuit fails. The PCM controls the boost pressure in a gasoline diesel by controlling the output circuit to the A wastegate boost pressure control solenoid. Okay, EBCS issue. Literally, all I do when you guys ask me like some of these codes is I just pull up the code. To be honest, like if you pull up the code, you can backtrack. Oh, look, it specifically specifies Subaru. All I do whenever you guys ask me what like an engine code is I Google the engine code. And then you backtrack like, all right, so if it's saying that the powertrain control module PCM controls the boost pressure in a gasoline or diesel engine by controlling the output to circuit A, controls wastegate boost pressure control solenoid. That means that there's something probably wrong with the whether your 2-port or 3-port electronic boost controller. Maybe you have a vacuum line that like blew off. All I do is Google the codes and then backtrack from there, like what the potential issue could be that's causing the check engine light to pop up. So hey, there you go. There's like behind the scenes of like what I do with the check engine or with the cells when you guys ask. But yeah, totally. Just Google them. You get a lot of them. 2010 Legacy GT, looking at the FA500 coilovers, thoughts on the spring rates. According to their site, it defaults to 8K front, 6K rear, looking to stay near stock height. FA500's awesome coilovers, first of all. Thoughts on the spring rates? Honestly, if you're not going to be doing any like real spirited driving, if you're just going to be daily driving the car, the standard spring rates that they give you are totally fine. If you want something that's a little bit stiffer, the Stiffer springs, the Swift springs as they call them, I believe they're 8K front, 8K rear, or 10K front, 10K rear, are a little bit stiffer, and they're a little bit better for spirited driving and track driving. But for the most part, if you're just doing some daily driving aspects, the stock spring rate is totally fine. I've ran both the 8K 6K setup. I've also ran a 10K 10K setup. I've ran an 8K 8K setup, and my favorite for just daily driving and like partial spirited driving has always been like 8K 8K. It feels a little bit better. But if you're just standard daily driving, 8K 6K, totally fine. Pulling hard on fifth, 4,500 RPM. So like we talked about, the P0244. Pulling hard on fifth gear, 4,500 RPM. Could be over boosting if you are. I don't know if you have a catless downpipe, since it is something to do with the electronic boost controller. You could be on the 2-port or the 3-port. I don't know which one you're actually on. But it could just be the car's over boosting. It's trying to make a little bit more boost. It's short circuiting that circuit to circuit A on the boost controller, so it's throwing the code P0244. One thought, it could be that. It could be a multitude of other things. But like I said, all I do is Google the code that you're asking, then kind of backtrack like what could be causing this issue, and then you kind of backtrack from there, troubleshoot to start narrowing it down a little bit more. Ben, what's going on, dude? And hey, I'll also be getting a 1983 Dodge Ram D150 150 Prospector. Got to love those Dodge trucks from 1972 to 1993. Best years for Dodge. My neighbor has a Dodge. It's a diesel. Sounds pretty good. Still runs pretty strong. Bust suspension for a bug eye, said Dan. David, I don't know what you're planning on doing with the car, but best suspension, like in my eyes, like the best go-to. Coilovers, rear sway bar, end links. For like basic suspension setup for a daily driver, that'll get you there like 90% of the time. If you really want to go all out, add some chassis bracing, a front sway bar, add a little bit of like bushings to help stiffen things up in the suspension a little bit more. But my best like go-to stuff for suspension modifications, coilovers, rear sway bar, rear end links, pretty solid. I meant to say Dodge Ram D150. I kind of got you there. It just kind of doubled out. Go check inbox, bruh. Like I said, it's like incredibly difficult to find anything in that inbox. How much power can the RA block handle? So people have been making north of 500 to 550 wheel horsepower on the RA blocks. They're pretty stout. I know they revised the piston design a little bit. They corrected the ring gap. The rods are the exact same. I'm pretty sure the crank is the same. So I'm pretty sure the only revisions that actually have to do with that are with the piston design and the piston ring gap themselves. Would you recommend running a 3-port Cobb electronic boost controller on an OTS tune? No, do not do that. That is bad. OTS tunes do not compensate for 3-port boost controllers. Do not install that part unless you have at least a base tune from your tuner. Don't. How about a 340 cubic inch V8 swap on a Subaru Brat? That'd be dope. That'd be sick. I don't have a V8 Brat, or I don't have a Brat or a V8 laying around, but that'd be a pretty sick swap. Will you be doing the Carlton flares on your 05 STI? Yes. Yes, I will. At some point, I will 100% be doing genuine, authentic Carlton flares. There is one company that has the molds for them. I believe it's Subi Flares has them. But yes, 100% we will be doing Carlton flares on that car. It'll look pristine. I'm so pumped for it. What's my least favorite type of car? Minivans. Not a huge fan of minivans. Don't like them. I will never own a minivan. I don't want a minivan. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do a minivan. Couldn't do it. Actually, Yaris. A Yaris. Not the fun GR Yaris. The older Yaris that I used to have. That car was so boring. So boring to drive. Yaris. Not fun. We can see how far I am behind in the chat because I've just gotten to the area where we were all hyped for the unboxings. Woo! I am so far behind in the chat. Unboxing car parts. Woo! Unboxing. What a video. Woo! Use a key. I don't have any keys on me. I hope it's not something weird. LOL. Quick, someone gift him a box cutter. Guys, can I put an SEO exhaust on a 2008 WRX? I don't think so, because the 2008 WRX was a single exit exhaust and the STI one was a quad exit. Pocket knife, bro, at all times. I need to have one. But I don't. This guy is literally the best YouTuber. Hey, appreciate the support, 370. Chrysler, 340 cubic inch V8 swap on a Subaru Brat. We talked about that. Opens box, turns off camera. Did I turn off the camera? I didn't turn off the camera. I see what you're doing there. I see. Like 92 people in here. Who's talking? I don't even know what's going on right now. Yo, love the videos. I'm trying to like catch up. Thanks for answering all the questions, guys. Anytime I got a question, why do you look like Frodo from Lord of the Rings? You're not the first one to tell me that. When I was in high school, I had like really long curly hair and I looked a lot more like Frodo. You should have seen that one a long time ago. Three turtles, 3 rules to live by. Always carry a knife. Never let the tank get below half. And always check the TP before you go in. Actually, I'm totally down for those rules. My man. We talked about that one. Carhartt is where it's at. That's what I'm saying. He's a friend of mine who bought a Here's a friend of mine who bought a 2004 Subaru Impreza WRX STI. Oh. 5W30 Moto 8100X Clean or 5W30 8100X Clean EFE for stage 2 FA20 engine for a cooler climate. I'm guessing you're just throwing that one out there, some info? Or is that a question? I don't know if that's a question or info. I'm going to take it as you threw it out there, some info. He looks like Shia LaBeouf, and I get that too. I get Shia LaBeouf, Lord of the Rings dude, Frodo Baggins. You know what? You know what? Maybe they're all just copying me. Maybe they're all just copying me. Are there any tracks that don't require a roll bar? Are there any tracks that don't require it? Not that I know of. I mean, I've never been to a track where they like strictly require you to have a roll bar though. Your wideband install video and resulting issue you had saved me from doing the same thing when I installed mine. Thanks for going through the trouble so that we don't. Anytime. A lot of people were asking what the fix to that was also. In a later video, like 2 videos after I posted that one like a year ago, I did explain the fix. I went on Amazon. I bought a Bosch AEM or a Bosch O2 sensor that I cut off, and then I spliced on the pigtail from the AEM sensor onto the Bosch sensor. Never had an issue since. Worked totally fine. Greetings from Chile. What's going on, my friend? What's everything I should run to? Nick, I got a video on the E85 stuff. Apple sucks in general. The one thing I will say that I like about Apple is this iMac. It's good for editing, but like the mouse and the keyboard, trash, like straight trash. Let's go. We'll place an order on the Type RA short block then. We'll try to max out the FP green. Do it. Only Apple. I totally agree with you, ETS streams. Apple charges you an arm and a leg. You drive WRX. Who are you? Rip Tricky Briss. I haven't seen you in the streams before. Have not seen you in the streams before. Wired mouse and keyboard and not Mac is the way. I know. I need a PC. I need a PC. Everyone hates on the iMac. Absolutely everyone hates on the iMac. Which I don't blame you guys. You can rightfully hate on the iMac. It's really not that good of a computer. Totally chat jumped. Why not just buy Windows base price? Because I will say this computer is good for editing. I will give it that. I've had a right-hand drive EJ207 V7 but the ETS rotated turbo kit doesn't clear the master cylinder. Advised by ETS. Do you think I will be able to fab? I don't think it will be able to clear the master cylinder unless because the master cylinder, it's obviously going to be on the passenger side where the downpipe goes down and the turbo sits. If you have the turbo come up, it's going to have to be like pushed as far forward towards that intake manifold as you can. So you're going to have to modify that up pipe and that down pipe a little bit. I think it's doable, but it's not going to be doable with the drop-in kit. So you're really going to have to modify the up pipe and the down pipe a little bit to try to get it to clear. You're going to want to try to bring it as close to the intake manifold as you can. But if you're going to be doing that, intercooler piping is also going to have to be adjusted. Turbo blanket probably required because you're going to be increasing IAT temps because you're moving that exhaust housing even closer to the center of the engine bay, right next to the intake manifold. It's doable, but you're probably going to be spending a decent amount of money. Or if you can fabricate it up yourself, you're just going to have to fabricate the up pipe to alter a little bit to have it more come at an angle with probably a bracket to support it a little bit more. And then the down pipe's going to have to wrap around and then go down a little bit more funky. But it's possible. I think it's possible. If my car has adaptive suspension, would lowering springs be better? Not necessarily than coil. Honestly, I mean, even the adaptive headlight stuff, I never used it. Mine ended up breaking. But if you're looking at lowering springs or coilovers, they're going to do the same thing when it comes to lowering the car. Obviously, coilovers are going to give you a lot more adjustability in lowering the car. But I believe it's one company out there, I don't know who makes it off the top of my head. They make a spacer adjustment for the adaptive headlight leveling, so that way you can retain it a little bit. I believe it just brings it out a little bit more inside of the control arm. I know some of them, they end up snapping over time. Mine ended up snapping. Now it just doesn't work anymore. Smedia, thanks, man. Good vibes on all your videos. Appreciate it, dude. Fox, oh hi. I almost missed this. I am so far back in the stream. I am like so sorry for being so far. I'm actually not sorry. We're getting through these questions. AJ, do you have a USB-C hub nearby the mouse? Sometimes they emit. Do I? I don't. I actually don't. The mouse just likes to it just randomly started like freaking out. I think it's I think it's Apple. I think it's just because it's Apple it's freaking out. He looked like he carried tartar sauce in his arm. What? Who are you? Who is this? Over it. Goodbye, Rip Ticky. I'm over it. I'm not going to deal with your stuff. Goodbye, Rip Ticky. You've gotten the band hammer. Cometic. Every single time. I always kill it. I always like butcher that name. If anyone wants F in the chat for Rip Ticky, he's gone. Goodbye, Rip Ticky. Apple products in general do suck. The price and quality, they are fairly annoying. I make knives. Hit me up if you want one. Hey, we'll totally take you up on that. Shoot me over like a store name or something. I'll definitely I'll buy one off you, dude. I will definitely support your trade if you sell knives. I will definitely buy one off you. Would you recommend getting a Cobb 3-port EBCS on a stage 2 OTS? No, we talked about that one. Not on OTS tune for a while until I would definitely hit up Bill over at Delicious Tuning. He can get you a bass tune made pretty quick. Definitely check them out if you are going to be going through. Well, it sounds like you're going to be going through them anyways. Bill is like pretty proficient at that. They got me my bass tune in like a day. It was awesome. F, you are already blocked by me. That's what I'm saying. Goodbye, Rip Tricky Briss. Good evening, Tanner and fellow viewers. I am cold. This sucks. I totally don't blame you. We were up in the mountains all day. It was probably like 28 degrees. I totally feel it was cold all day. Minecraft stream ? I set up a Twitch account, but I never use it. I mean, if I am ever like on Minecraft or something like that, I might throw a community tab out if anyone wants. I might just make a server, like an open server for everyone. That'd be kind of fun. Yo, you should do a gaming stream one of these days. Totally down. Like I said, I totally have a Twitch setup. I just have never used it. I need to continue setting it up. But yeah, I think that'd be fun. I'd be totally down for that. He is on a Mac. I know I'm on a Mac. Everyone hates the Mac. What kind of oil you rock, bro? Heezy. So in pretty much use Mochil. Mochil's always been my go-to. The 5W40 has been a pretty solid setup for oil. I mean, even all the oil analysis stuff that we did on the 17 STI when we were sending all of those out to Blackstone Labs, everything came back super solid. It's also pretty affordable. You can get it most of the time pretty locally. If you have any performance shops near you, most of them stock Motul also. If you don't have access to getting Motul, Castrol Edge is another one that I tested that came out pretty solid, that I've been pretty happy with also. Have you seen any Doug DeMuro latest YouTube video about the Mercedes Unimog that he uploaded? I haven't seen that one. I don't really watch a lot of Doug DeMuro. I've seen a couple of them here and there. But I mean, if I get some free time later, definitely consider. I'll definitely check out the Unimog. I've been using Castrol Edge 5W40 my EJ. Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's the one I tested. Came back very awesome. Very good results. God bless you, man. Sorry for overwhelming you with comments, but I have made my full mod list thanks to you. Will you ever come to Maryland? I've never actually been to the Northeast. I'd love to get up there one day. I think it'd be really awesome. I think the only spot is in the Northeast that I've actually been to is not Vermont, Maine. I went to Portland, Maine, just to the airport, and I don't really consider that going up there. But yeah, if I ever got the opportunity, I'd love to go up to the Northeast. That'd be awesome. Eric did my car over at Torque Performance. Awesome. I think he's a fan of the... I don't even know what that is. Is cat temps measured on the access port accurate representative of VGTs? I mean, not necessarily. It also depends on where your catalytic converter is. If you're trying to emulate or read EGTs coming directly out of the cylinder head, where most people do read them, if you're trying to compare it to a number that would be comparable coming straight out of the cylinder head, obviously it's not going to be an accurate representation of that, but it should give you an idea of what your EGTs are post cat. So I believe it pulls the pulls the EGT temps off the secondary O2 sensor, which is downstream past the catalytic converter, so it should give you an idea of what your post-turbo temps are. But I don't think too many people are actually monitoring post-temp, unless it's reading off of bank 1, which is upstream, or pre-cat. I wouldn't take that reading accurately. I would not accurately consider that one. Dude, those spicy wings have wrecked my throat. It is insane. Don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings and get the spicy wings. I only had like 2 of them off my buddy's plate, and it's my. I have a right-hand drive. We talked about the ETS rotated kit. Oh crap. I meant I got a Blob Eye 05 STI. Oh, congrats, Patrick. That's what I'm saying. Blob Eye, Bug Eye. I'm glad you got a Blob Eye, man. I'm all about the Blob Eyes. I love the Blob Eyes. Someone send in the Blob Eye. I love Blob Eyes. I grew up with an 80s Dodge Ram truck. Oh, God, was that a turd? Oh, I am sorry to hear, dude. I am so far behind in the comments. Jesus. I can't even keep up. I cannot even keep up. I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying so hard to keep up. I gotta jump off. My throat is, like, done tonight. I will do a makeup stream Thursday. What is that? Thursday. Thursday's New Year's Day, right? Thursday's New Year's Day? 29th, 30th, 31st. Yeah, we'll do a New Year's Eve live stream. My voice is just wrecked from today. But I did want to hop on for a little bit. We're on for a little bit over an hour. If I did not get to any of your guys' questions, which it looks like I missed quite a bit of them, which I do apologize for. Rick, it even says, Rip Tricky Briss was hidden by Media. But anyways, if I didn't get to any of your guys' questions, I do apologize. My voice is just done for tonight. So, like I said, New Year's Eve live stream. I'll probably be doing it a lot earlier in the day, just before anyone goes out for New Year's Eve. We'll probably do it like 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which would be about 7 o'clock over on the East Coast, just to give things a little bit better of a heads up rather than being like super late at night. But appreciate everyone swinging by the stream. Appreciate all the donos. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your night and rest of your guys' week. I will catch you guys on Thursday with the next upload and the New Year's Eve live stream. So once again, hope everyone has an awesome rest of their week.